I wasn't planning to see him again. I told myself that all week, while answering emails I didn't care about, sitting through conversations that felt too loud, and catching my reflection in windows, like I was looking for something I'd misplaced. But the truth was simple. He'd gotten under my skin. Not in the dramatic way people read about. Nothing reckless or wild, just quietly, steadily, like a warmth you didn't notice, until suddenly you miss it. So when I stepped into the Sterling district that night, I pretended I didn't know where my feet were leading me. But I did. And he did too. Because he was already there. He stood outside the Golden Hour Lounge, hands in the pockets of a charcoal coat, gazing out over the city, as if he'd been waiting long enough to memorize every light. He didn't turn when I approached. He didn't have to. "You're late," he said softly. Not annoyed, just amused. Across my arms. I didn't say I was coming. He finally turned toward me and looked me in the eyes. Told me exactly why he hadn't believed that. "No," he said, "but you wanted to." I should have argued, denied it, defended myself, but instead I stepped closer. Inside, the lounge was quieter than last time. The windows opened to the night air, letting the breeze roll across the marble floors, like the room itself was exhaling. We took the same spot by the glass, but the distance between us wasn't the same. This time, he stood just behind my right shoulder, close enough that I could feel the faint warmth of him at my back. Close enough that I leaned even an inch. Our worlds would collide. "Long week?" he asked. "Long year," I replied. He didn't laugh. He didn't tease. He just looked at me. Really looked. In the way that made the noise in my head finally quiet. "Then let tonight be simple," he said. "No expectations, no questions, just presence." I let the silence answer for me. After a moment, he stepped beside me, not touching, but near, a steady, grounding presence. "You disappear when you're overwhelmed," he said. "You go quiet. You shut people out." I raised a brow. "And you don't?" He smiled, smaller than last time, but somehow warmer. "Oh, I do," he said, "but I don't like it when you do." Something about the way he said that landed in my chest with surprising weight. "You barely know me," I murmured. He tilted his head, never breaking eye contact. "I know enough to notice you, and that's more than most people bother to do." My breath caught tight. I hated that he could read it. He loved that he could read it. We stood there for a long time, two people acting like we weren't avoiding everything we didn't want to say. Finally, he shifted. Just a step, but it brought him closer. Close enough that our reflections blurred together in the glass. "You're holding something in," he said quietly, "and you want to say it. But you just don't trust what it'll change." He wasn't wrong. Not even a little. He looked down at my hands. "I'm not good at letting people in." "It's fine," he replied. "Just don't close the door while I'm standing at it." My chest tightened. A slow, warm ache I wasn't prepared for. "Why do you care?" I whispered. He answered without hesitation. "Because you don't pretend with me." I exhaled sharply. That was the thing I'd been trying not to name, the thing he just dragged into the light. He stepped closer, only a few inches, but it felt like more. "Listen," he said softly. "I'm not asking for anything from you. Not a commitment, not a confession, not a version of you that you're not ready to show." He paused, searching my eyes like he was reading a language I didn't know I was speaking. All I want tonight is honesty. The room felt warmer. The night felt smaller. And I felt seen in a way that was almost too much. So I took a breath, slow, steady, and let the words spill out. I didn't come here to relax. I admitted. I came because I wanted to see you again. And I didn't know what that means yet. His expression softened. Subtly, reluctantly, beautifully. That, he said, is more than enough. We walked out into the balcony. The cool air brushed against my skin, the city humming below us. He stood beside me, hands resting on the railing, face tilted toward the skyline. You know, he said, most people only look at the city from up here when they're trying to escape something. And what are you trying to escape? I asked. He gave a small breath of a laugh. You. I blinked. Me? He nodded. Because every time I see you, I forget what I was worried about. My heart stuttered. A soft, unruly rhythm I didn't grant permission for. And that scares you? I asked quietly. No, he said. Then he looked at me, fully, deliberately. It makes me want more time with you. The words landed between us, gentle, unguarded, dangerous. I held his gaze, didn't look away, didn't hide. And in that moment, it wasn't about romance, or timing, or fate. It was about being seen and choosing not to run. When the night finally cooled, he walked me downstairs, not in a performative way, but in a stay close enough to catch you way. We stopped outside the entrance. Same time next week, he asked. But this time, I didn't hesitate. Yes, I said. Clear, uncertain, uncomplicated. His smile was small, but real. Good, he murmured. Because I'm not done learning you yet. I turned to leave, but I felt his gaze linger. Warm, steady, like a hand resting between my shoulder blades. And as I stepped into the night, I realized something simple, something quiet, something true. I wasn't running anymore. Not from him, not from myself, not from whatever this was becoming. And next week, the story would continue.